We had to FedEx applications to the carriers when I was new. That was the norm then. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, the first time I wrote 5K in a week, dude, they threw a parade for me like I won the Super Bowl. Swear, it's like, but times have changed, bro.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I interviewed a dude today, 23, is on the podcast. He'll be out in a couple weeks. 460K his first year. He like just got out of high school.
I got the squad on. Everybody's excited to learn.
I love
I
it.
told everyone have a bunch of questions and that you are gonna make everyone feel dumb for a little bit so that we can grow.
I love it. I like that you led it in the direction I like to go. And I think it's like, and it's not on purpose to make people feel dumb because I want them to like feel dumb, but it's like I want people to see opportunity in a different way. You know what I mean? And it's like I think I've learned, man, how people view this thing, and they end up with one result, and then some people view it a different way and they end up with a better result. And I'm like, fair to say you guys would rather learn how to view things in a way that leads you to a better result. Is that fair statement? Like everybody in on that? Um, and man, when it comes to growth, dude, I've just learned like people have funny um thoughts or fears or understanding of how it does or should work. And we can certainly make it interactive. I'll give some generic stuff first, and then we can kind of dive into things. I think for me, dude, it's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people's fears tend to be around, if there's something different for you guys. I know generally talking to people about this all day, every day, most people's fears tend to be around something around the concept of like, I want to build one day, but I'm not really ready. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how, but I want to. But I have a fear of it. Some people have a fear of just like, I don't really know what to teach them. I see that being a piece of it. I have some people that have a fear of like investing in building. I see that sometimes being a thing. Like I don't have the funds, I don't have the money. I wish I could. I want to, but I'm broke or whatever. I'm just getting by. Maybe I'm selling a bunch, and there's not a lot extra. Um, those are kind of the core of it. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else major concerns that people have. It tends to be around one of those things a majority of the time. Um, the how to. For me, I'm like, well, you're here and you're licensed, so you can at least teach that. Does it make sense? Like, we're not asking you to do a dissertation on building, but like, if you want to build one day, like you can help people get where you're at. And even if you're still in a learning phase, right? Like, say I'm and I don't know who sells what on here. I don't know everybody's numbers off the top of my head yet, but it's like maybe I don't sell enough and I don't know how to teach it at all. Like I know how, sure. I mean, obviously I can tell someone how to get their license, but after that, I don't know what the hell to do. Dope. You know who does? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, John knows how to do it. There's a really good strategy in teaching people how to go like, dude, I actually have no idea like how to teach this thing yet. I'm learning. I'm actually making good money, like decent. Maybe it's great, maybe it's mediocre, maybe you're brand new. Would insert your situation. And then it's like, but this dude, John's teaching me how to print money. He's made ABC. He's done ABC in the industry. He's teaching people how to do ABC, and he's looking to hire more people. I know he'll help you while he helps me. You open a conversation. Like, does that sound complicated? Super easy. You know what I mean? So when I was new, bro, I didn't know what I was doing either. Hell, I'm still convinced I don't really know what I'm doing. I just keep it moving. Now obviously I've learned a lot of skill sets, but for me, when I was new, bro, I was like, yo, this guy Kilomet's teaching me how to print money. I mean, I made 8 grand last month, which wasn't bad, but he's making 30. You want to come along for the ride? That was my recruiting pitch at the beginning. And then I would send him to Mike, and sometimes I'd get him on a 3-way. Sometimes I'd get him to a meeting. Sometimes I'd get him to a call he had for it. You know what I mean? There were different ways I could get him in touch. It kind of varied based on what we had going on, but I would somehow link the two, and then with time, Mike would be like, I remember once he was like, and this is in the day of field sales, bro. All we did was direct mail in the field. There was no such thing as an e-app or telesales, right? And he goes, hey, bro, I talked to that guy today that you sent over, the one that you said you think is going to kill it and seems like he has a lot of potential. He's like, Hey, did you know when I talked to him about contracting, he said he only goes to the library every Tuesday to print because he doesn't own a printer and he has to take the bus to get to the library because he don't have a car. I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, dude, you suck at asking questions. Maybe you could find that out next time. I was like, makes sense. So then next time I interviewed someone, I'm like, yo, do you have a car and a printer? That's how I learned how to do this. You know, and I think so many people overcomplicate this fucking thing. And I'm like, you telling me you can't tell someone that we have an outlet to make money and here's a path to it and get the fuck out of the way? Step one, everyone can do that. You know, and for me, quite frankly, bro, the people I was helping, and still to this day, the people I'm helping figure this thing out, I'm like, I believe in goodwill. I believe giving. You know what I mean? And I think you'll get things in return. But I find it weird that someone will take the training, believe in everything we do, and won't do the courtesy of introducing the agency to other people that want opportunity until they got it all figured out. I'm like, why are you holding it hostage? Like, wait, so you refuse to help me grow the agency because your ego's at a point where you can't refer someone? Like, I find that weird. It's just straight up, dude. I find it awkward. I never had that. I'm like, yo, I'm going to help Mike build. And I was not dumb enough to realize that if I sent him people, he would help me. It was somewhat selfish in a sense, but he liked it. You know what I mean? Because it helped his agency. And I wasn't blind that if I helped his, he'd help mine. And with time, him and I started, we basically ran this thing together. I became his right hand guy. I was 5 in depth. I didn't know who he was. He didn't know me. He didn't hire me. I saw opportunity for people to win in the business. And I'm like, all I got to do is talk to people and someone else will do the rest. Sold. You ain't going to convince me that that's a smart move. You know what I mean? He had to tell me, like, yo, you need to start doing some of this stuff. I'm like, okay. I mean, just tell me what you want me to do. And he would tell me to do this. I'm like, okay. Now, one point I remember he was like, hey, dude, you're killing it now. Like we got to a point. I did that till who knows how many agents we had. And then again, I certainly got progressively better at the conversations. Right. But at some point, he's like, dude, you're sending so many people. I have to hire another staff. Dude, I think it's time for you to hire someone. I was like, okay, no problem. Hire someone. What do I say? What do I put for an ad? What do I have them do? He's like, go to Danielle. She'll give you everything. She'll give you the ad. I'm like, okay. Hey, Danielle, what do I do? She goes, post this. I'm like, okay. And I just learned how to do it along the way. And every time I needed to be told something, he told me, you know, and I just became a student of how to build, dude. To me, that was really simple because I knew I wanted to build it eventually. And I assume y'all are on here because you know you want to build it eventually. So it's like, why do we hold back? I would, yes, thank you. That is true. I didn't realize that was you posting, but yeah, I mean, it is. That's who I am, dude. You know, that's how I learned how to do every piece of this business. You know, we're doing stuff like that now. Hell, I have a whole consulting side. You think I know how to build a consulting business? Just being straight up, I have no earthly idea. But I'm like, hey, I know how to teach people how to win and build teams and scale and systems. I know how to teach it. Yo, I have it. People are like, where do I sign up? I'm like, shit, I don't have a website yet. Hold on, let's make one. So we make a website. What's the pricing? I'm like, let me make some shit up, see what happens. And we made up pricing. And then, dude, then we put a little form on the website. And people started filling it out. And I started doing Zooms with people. And I'm like, here's the pricing. What do you think? And most were like, it's too cheap. Why is it like you're actually going to help me for that? I'm like, oh, I should be more. I mean, you can send me fucking more. I'll cash it. But now as I'm starting to build it, I'm like, let me prove the model. Oh, we'll raise the prices. And I'm learning. I am doing what I preach. I have no earthly idea how to do. I've never done that side of a business. I've never built a consulting side. But dude, I have people from 9 different companies paying me now to teach them how to do stuff. And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in terms of organizing a consulting side. I know how to teach it. I'm like, that's the easy part. All the other shit, my team was like, we should run ads. I'm like, sounds like a good idea. How do we do it? They're like, you need a Facebook page and an ad account. I'm like, do I have one of those? And like, we don't have one. I'm like, oh, well, someone figure out how to make one. So now they're figuring out how to make one. You know what I mean? And like, so my point is like, dude, you're not going to know how to do a lot of things along the way. That's ongoing forever. But John's got to a certain point, right? He's doing well. He sold a bunch. He's got a decent sized team. You know what he doesn't know how to do? get 100 agents paid? He ain't figured that out yet. Is he going, let me wait till I'm really good at getting 100 agents paid before I try to get to 100 agents? That'd be weird as shit. You know what I mean? But we have a tendency. It's like new agents who get started. And I don't want to buy leads till I know what I'm doing. Now, those of us that sell enough, we're like, what? That don't make no sense. But we tend to do that on the building side, you know? And it's like, dude, if y'all want to build something, it's going to be a group effort. If everyone can be on the same page and rowing the boat in the same direction, dude, the people coming in ain't going to know who's who anyway. Their head's fucking spinning. They're just trying to figure out how to get their license and how to find their login. Y'all could be like, dude, John's the CEO, Kadane's the CFO, Ted's in charge of training. I can't read that name. God, my eyes are terrible. Connor's in charge of leaderboards. You know what I mean? Like you can literally make shit up and they'd be like, okay. Like it doesn't have to be insanely complicated, bro. And so everybody on the team tends to play a role. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And if you start to work together and go, who's really good at, without everyone going like, I need to be in charge of something. We don't need that either. But it's like, wouldn't you all want to help each other? So meaning if someone relates more to JP than to Kadane, for instance, maybe he could help him. I don't get an override. What? Who gives a shit? Help someone. You know what I mean? And we constructed our team this way because I knew if I did it, someone else would help me on the back end and I wouldn't have to talk to someone on the other side. You know what I mean? And we just, as a group, started going like, yo, what if we go at this different as a group? Like we get a squad and we're intentional. You know what I mean? And we all send a certain amount of DMs a day and we compete and we see who can bring on the most people, who can get the most contracted this week, who can get the most paid this month, direct to them. Let's battle. One-on-one, heads up. Who can get more started? Dude, we started doing stuff like that. I'm like, who wants in with that? Like, that would be fun to me. I don't know if that's fun to other people. I'm psycho. To me, that's fun. Like, let me compete against my buddies and see who can build something bigger. You know? Then I'd be like, well, dude, imagine if we all start sharing what we're doing on social. Hey, I'll start posting videos. Hey, John, can you post some videos? Hey, just say this, dude. Nobody gives a shit. This is, can we educate people about what? I don't know. Think of a question someone asked you today. Fair. If you talk to clients or agents, someone asks you a question every day. Fair. Write one down, grab your iPhone, switch the camera to face you, hit record, and answer that question on video, and then upload it to the internet. That's how I started building my personal brand. Literally, that's it. And it became out of a selfish reason also because I would get a lot of the same questions over and over again. So I'm like, hey, great question. Instead of answering it for 45 minutes, I'm walking to a meeting. Let me make a video. And I started making videos about the most common questions. And I'd put them on YouTube. And some of those videos today have 20, 30, 40,000 views because it's been shared so many times. You know? And it's like, hell, now I have a whole YouTube channel. I literally, the beginning, if you go back and look at my original stuff, it was me sitting on my back porch with my hat on backwards, answering questions at night, just taking questions. Like I had this little chat at the time. We used to use this thing called Voxer, and it was like a video. It was like what's that thing people use today? I have it. I don't know what it's called. I don't use a ton of it anymore. Slack or whatever, right? It'd be like a Slack but video. So maybe some of y'all know what Voxer is, maybe some don't. I don't know. But I like seeing people, hearing people. So instead of having a chat where we text, we did it where we talk. Because I like to read people's body language and tone and things like that. I can articulate things better. And so I had it in there. And I would have people ask questions in there. I'm like, hey, if you got a question, put it in the group. That way everyone can see the question. And then I'll come in and answer it. And that way I want everyone to see the answer. And so when people started calling me with questions, dude, I'm like, dude, bro, that's a phenomenal question. Hey, can you go post it in the group chat? Because I want other people to see this interaction. And one, it got me off the phone. Right? I didn't have to spend wasted time on the phone with someone. And if it made sense to be on the phone, I'm on the phone. You know what I mean? But sometimes it doesn't. And it allowed me to be super productive. Right? Now I could get a message to a ton of people. So then I started getting my guys. I'm like, yo, Zach, when someone new has a question, bro, can you push them to the group and get them to ask in there? Because I want to get some momentum going in terms of Q&A. I want new agents to feel comfortable asking questions. I want to go in and be able to answer them. And then with time, you know what started happening? Other people started answering the questions too. They're my guys. They're like, yo, I just sat with a client that had the same situation today. Here's how I handled it. And became a very interactive video based app we used. And that's how I built the core from where y'all are at today to, several of us. Obviously, I got all the volume on the top end, but that's how we built out several to what we call VPs. You know what I mean? Having 10, 15 agents, nothing crazy, but making, 5, 10, 15, 20 grand a month in overrides for different people, everybody at different stages. And there was just a squad of it. And that allowed me to get to 4, 5, 600 grand. That was the first steps to it, and then I would take those questions and answers, I'd cut them. I download a little app on my phone, cut the two. Here's the question, here's the answer that I gave, and that became a YouTube video. If you're in the insurance space and trying to build an agency, or you're trying to break records in sales, just hit new levels, new heights, click the link below to apply to my consulting and coaching program that I have out there. I'm helping tons of people get to new levels, get to new income heights, help them build their teams, put systems in place, staffing stuff, recruiting processes, automations, and just teaching people how to get to a point where they're selling on their own pen, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. And if they're building a team, teaching how to have an effective structure to your insurance agency for the most profitability you can. There is an application process. I'm only looking to work with high-end people who really want to make big things happen. A couple recent clients that we've had in the coaching program. One dude as an individual went from selling 8 grand a month, barely getting by, about to quit the industry, found the book, hit me up direct, started a coaching program, went to 35K his first month, has issued 150K in the last 90 days, and has changed the trajectory of his career. Working with another agency builder, very first month went from doing 800 grand a month to almost 1.1 million. We added 10 or 15% production in 30 days and continue to work on things there. So if you're interested, click the link, apply, and if you're a fit, I'll reach out. Does that make sense? Then we started seeing people have success. And when new agents had success, I'm like, oh, Susan, dope. First day, picked up an app, $42 a month. You're fired up. She's fired up out of her mind. I'm like, hey, will you go talk about that in the group? Dude, there's some new agents we got started. They would be excited out of their mind to hear you talk about your first sale. Do you mind? I'm a little nervous about. Hey, I know you're nervous, but dude, we're going out of our way to help you win. We got other people we're trying to help win too. Dude, can you just share something for 20, 30 seconds? It can be informal. You don't have to do your makeup. You don't have to worry about the lighting. Can you just post something super simple? And they would start doing it. Right now we're highlighting people. Then it got to a point where social media, in today's world, I'm like, let's post that on Instagram. Let's post that on TikTok. Let's post that on, And we start posting the regular social as things to, again, keep in mind, 10 years ago is when I started this. So social was very different at that stage. And we just made posting on social the norm, right? And then they start seeing everybody from our group posting on the regular, wins, successes, questions, educational stuff. We're tagging each other. We're sharing each other's content. It's we're being intentional. It's we're trying to build this together. Imagine if we all post something every day and we all share something every day. There's 9,000 pieces of content that hit 50,000, however many thousand people combined cumulatively. We started doing that all the time. Bro, we started getting some traction. People were like, yo, what are they doing? I want to work with them. Oh my God. I didn't know she's making this kind of jack doing that. And other people's social following started coming in. You know what I mean? That's the norm today. But it's you guys are taking advantage of the biggest and easiest free marketing on planet Earth. I don't know. I know I've not seen anything from any of y'all. Maybe someone's doing it, maybe you're not. I don't know. I just know I don't know any of you online. But I bet y'all see my shit online. Or you're not on the internet. Fair? You see my shit, or you ain't on social media. Right? Why? Every day to every platform, bro. That's my model. Every day to every platform. What do you do with it all? I don't know, dude. I don't have a clue. Do more now, get better later. I just post, bro. I don't know algorithms. I don't know stats. I don't know. But I know my shit's growing and it ain't stopped. Now today we've hired someone. Reese handles a lot of it. He takes care of a lot of the details. I'm I just stay out of the way. I just keep talking. I keep getting people excited. I keep pushing people towards what works. And so for me, it's how do you learn the pieces? We can get there. But if you don't do the base, it's how do you learn how to sell? What do y'all sell in a month? Post in there. I saw someone say 30K, but tell me your monthly average issued premium. Everybody in here, just type it in. I'm shit curious who's where. Just ballpark average month to month. Don't overanalyze the question. There you go. It's like, all right, how do we teach people how to do that? Well, someone selling 40K certainly knows how to teach someone else how to sell 12. Someone selling 12 probably doesn't know how to teach how to sell 40 yet. But that's okay. You know, it's how to help teach someone how to sell 5. You can certainly focus on that. Someone wants to do 40. I'd be like, yo, check out Squeaks. He's killing it. Like, I'm okay that way. You know, I do a lot of annuity stuff, annuity training. Some of y'all follow my stuff, some don't. But we have a whole annuity boot camp. We're teaching people how to do it. Dude, I'm not teaching like the actuarial science behind how annuities work. I don't fucking have a clue how they work. But dude, we do $45 million in annuity volume. Why? Because I got really good at getting everyday agents to ask a very basic question and bring opportunity to others that know how to close them. And then we pair them up, we teach them how to close them. I just sit in the middle and collect my piece. You know, I don't have to know all the pieces. I mean, I know the basics of an annuity, but I'll be honest, I don't know much more than the basics. But you know who also doesn't? The fucking clients. So I don't really have to know more than most people on earth. And if I need a higher level one, I pull someone in. I'm like, yo, can you help with this? You know, and it's for me, dude, it's like, how can I scale everything fast, bro? That was always my model is like, how do I get more people rowing the boat in the same direction, speaking the same language, saying the same thing? And how do I build a team? And if the team that I'm hoping comes along for the ride with me doesn't want to, all good. But and I don't know how to not sound. Some people along over the years have found it like abrasive, or if they get in their feelings about it. But I'm like, dude, after I teach you how to sell, what else is there to talk about if we ain't building? You know what I mean? Like after a few weeks, couple months max, I got no new sales tips. I can't tell you again to buy more leads. I can't possibly tell you to triple dial again. I can't possibly to tell you to stop waiting until fucking noon to pick up the phone. I can't possibly tell you that no shows and cancels and chargebacks are never going away. You better get used to them. I can't possibly tell you about the training anymore. I got nothing new. Right. So for me, dude, I taught people how to get paid, get them to a certain point. They either followed the deal or they didn't. And then I was identifying people who wanted me to build something. Or, dude, I love you. I'm glad you're making money. I'm glad you're here and part of the team. But nicely get out of my way because I'm building a company. And I want people along the ride who also want to do that long term. You know what I mean? It's like dating. I mean, you get with a girl and she's like, dude, I don't want shit to do with family. I don't want kids. I don't want marriage. I don't want to do nothing. Nothing wrong with that. Knock it out the park, bro. But if you're looking for serious, like, how long can you really do that? You know what I mean? After a while, it's like, all right, it's getting a little boring now. You know what I'm saying? And for me, this was the same way, dude. So I was always trying to, I want to help people get to every level, but I found, dude, a lot of people that just produce and don't want to build wanted to like keep talking to like, I don't know, be negative or be friends or shoot the shit or talk about Steve who's fucking around or doing this or doing that or said this the wrong way or did you hear this? I don't, dude, I don't give a shit about stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's part of this thing is like, dude, I want people who wanna do something more for me. You know what I mean? Again, we're at a thing and I got some downtime. Dope. I'll fucking talk to someone who's doing 6 grand a month. I don't give a shit. But like not every day. Oh my God. I don't even talk to my mom that frequently. I don't talk to my kids every day. I'm sure as shit not talking to an 8K producer every day. I'm sure shit not talking to someone who ain't building every day. Does that make sense? I'm not, that's not me. I want to help people win big, dude. And it's worked well. And I've had to learn how to find a nice balance, dude. But I think, building in this thing is as complicated as you make it. And for me, I've learned how to deliver things in such a simple manner because I like things simple. I'm not confused that we can complicate things. And sometimes that's even a good thing to take a more complicated route and process. And you know what I mean? Like if you came and looked at some of the systems I have in my office today, you'd be like, holy shit, your eyeballs would explode. Any of y'all ever seen like what's that show? That's Sheldon. Big Bang Theory. You ever seen that? That was one of my favorite shows ever. You remember when and if you haven't seen it, I apologize, just Google it, or it's there's reruns on every channel for like 24/7. It's like Friends, for crying out loud, halfway. But you ever seen where he goes where they would have that whiteboard and they would do like the calculations on like the speed of light or whatever the weird shit they said? Like you could look at my automation onboarding system and you'd think you're looking at that. But like I didn't grow because of that. That came later with time as I got really good at it and I hired other people and we built that with time. And I think a lot of people think to start you have to do the complicated stuff and know all the complicated stuff. And I'm like, nah, dude, you know Sheldon once like learned first grade math, right? Like he started there. Like there was a stage where Sheldon didn't know 3 times 2. Right? And it's like that's the norm. So it's like, are we gonna progress with it, dude? And again, we can be wide open. I kind of want to set the stage for like the way to properly start a foundation. But if there's actual questions, or John, first, if you want me to touch on anything specific before we open it up, let me know. But
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
have a couple. I always come prepared. Sorry.
yeah.
No, I posted in there because you were saying you knew Kilomet was doing 30K. I was like, 30K back then was like ungodly amounts of money in the
Oh
insurance.
my God, dude.
Now
Yeah.
30K, you can throw a rock and hit something
Correct.
that does
Yeah,
twice that.
again,
But
it's
back
12
then,
years ago where hell
yeah,
we were at, hey, when I started with him, bro, we had we had to the apps originally,
yeah,
dude, we had
paper.
to we no, by FedEx. We had to FedEx applications to the carriers
Yeah,
when I was new. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we'll let you know in 2 or 3 weeks if you're approved or not. That was the norm then.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, the first time I wrote 5K in a week, dude, they threw a parade for me like I won the Super Bowl. Swear, it's like, but times have changed, bro.
yeah,
Like I interviewed a dude today, 23, is on the podcast. He'll be out in a couple weeks. 460K his first year. He like just got out of high school. And the podcast wasn't that long because he couldn't really articulate things really well. It was like, all right, that he's like that. I mean, this is not deep. I just call people, I say the script, and I issue fucking 86 grand a day.
yeah.
You
It's
know,
fine.
and so yeah, it's all relative, dude. But it's this thing has gotten easier, and because the things we're teaching have continued to progress down, and people are skipping all the bullshit. The
Yeah,
reason 30K was a big deal then is because we allowed a lot of noise to get in the way that we later learned. It's like, oh, we can skip all this. Let's just go this way. Here's how you do it. We tried to overcomplicate things too. That's the norm. But it was very quick to go, oh, we should make this simpler. We should make this easier. We're overcomplicating this. You know.
yeah. Well, insurance was kind
Mm.
of an old man's game for a while too, right? And then
Oh,
as
this is a
younger people
different
came
game
in,
now, bro. This
yeah.
is a different game, dude. It's crazy.
So I do have a couple things I just want, and then I'm sure I told everyone come with questions if you have anything because we got you for a little
Sure.
bit. Two main things because we're gonna do like I told you we're doing there's a training in Arizona.
Yep.
Uh, so to which you already started touching on one thing about social media presence and recruiting, which I kind of wanted to re-ask that, but how important is especially for people that want to build to get in person around the team events because that's something you
Yeah.
guys do really really well at FFL.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to push off an in-person event when it's like, oh,
Sure.
well, money's tight, this whatever it may be.
Yeah.
How it like I just know when I was with you guys, at
Yeah. Yeah.
it was all about that changed everybody's mindset and like there are people that
Yeah.
go to events and then come back and issue 40K the next
Sure.
month,
Sure.
right? Like so how important would you rate
Yeah.
going to events in person,
Yeah.
being around the team and stuff?
Are people here confused by that? Legit?
I don't think people are confused by it. I think people negotiate on whether it's worth it or not.
To me,
Spending
that means they're confused. Because if they
correct.
weren't confused, you wouldn't there'd be no negotiation. Do you know how much money I spend to go to events, bro, a year? Oh my God.
Yeah, you're telling me, man.
Yeah. I mean, I
My
drop
tax
coin
bill
to
is
go to stuff. I mean, I'm 6 figures plus a year in events
yeah.
for sure. Like, dude, that's how I've gotten everything I've gotten. You know, it's wild, dude. There's not an event I come away that I leave with. Now, what's the difference? Some people go to events and they're like, I can't afford to go because then I also have to spend money to get drunk and go eat every day and hang, you know what I mean, do all this shit. And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm going there. I got ammo. I got questions ready. I know I got targeted thing. There's things I'm trying to accomplish. And people who put on events, I don't think anyone's confused. They're the ones making the money. And if you do the right event, the ones making the money are making the money already, doing the thing they do, and the event is just gravy. If it's a paid event, a lot of events are free, especially in our space in this context you're mentioning it. You know what I mean? Now, I think someone that it's very easy to find someone that goes like, come to my event and I charge for it, and they only make money because they charge for events. Those people exist too. Those are douchebags. Like, I'm not saying that event,
Yeah.
but someone that knows how to teach you how to do what you want to do, oh, dude. And then for me, it was like, if I promote that properly, if you've never read, if you've never studied leadership stuff, read The Five Levels of Leadership, John Maxwell. It's one of the best books literally ever written. And it helps, it explains the way that people view you in their eyes. It don't matter who you are, what you do. Like, if I go to Kroger right now and buy some grapes, no one in there is like, Wetmore, can you teach me how to make some money? They don't give a shit who I am at all. Does that make sense? But if I come to here, it's different. Y'all view me differently because of A, B, and C, right? And so Maxwell also teaches how to, and I mean this in the most positive way ever, manipulate that scoring system that people have as simply as imagine if you have an event and you go, hey, Steve, come to the event. It'll be good for you. Or you're like, hey, Steve, dude, you're registered for the event in April, right? Wait, what event? Bro, you ain't seen it yet? Dude, John's putting on this event. It's 2 days. We get to be around all these fucking killers. They're issuing 40K a month. You're gonna get to listen to their phone script. You're gonna get to watch him teach it. He's doing da 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 da. They're going over da 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 da. Dude, he's a killer. He's teaching people. He's making so much money. He used to have this story. He used to be broke. Da da da. And you edify someone. Now, what do you think that person's view is of the person attending the event or running the event? Right? It shifts the way they view something. No different than if you bring me into a call and you introduce me a certain way, it's going to hold more weight than if I just get on and go, here, I'm John, here's what I've done. That might hold certain weight, but it holds more weight when someone else backs it. Fair? Everyone knows that. You make an introduction, it's a different game. And so we put on events, dude, and we're so intentional about the way to run the event. You teach agents how to do it, and then certain people make themselves available to help those new agents coming in. And then, meaning if you did it to me, we have an event coming up this month, right? People come, you go, you send someone to the event, and you go, John's doing ABC. You should go. He's going to teach you all the niceties. Well, when they get here and they're like, hey, Roger sent me, told me to come say what's up. I'm like, oh, dude, you get to work with Roger? Holy smokes, he's doing da 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 da. Especially if, and I'm not saying inaccurate stuff. Like, be honest about it. Like, there's always a way to edify someone doing something positive. You know what I'm saying? But understanding how to communicate with people the right way gets people excited. It gets them attentive. It gets them listening. It gets them to want to be around. And it gets them in a learning mode versus skeptical shit that I just put my money here for nothing. Right? They walk into it feeling different. And one of the things that's always stuck with me, dude, is like you hear the term IMO, FMO, all these MOs thrown around. Y'all know what the M means, right? Does everyone know what the M stands for? Marketing. Insurance Marketing Organization. That's what we do. Like, I'm an insurance rep. Nah. You work at a marketing company. Insurance is just the product. You know what I'm saying? Now, can you be an individual insurance rep by yourself? Yeah, 100%. Knock yourself out. But like, you want to build something, marketing and sales runs the world. And the way I delivered how to promote an event is marketing. The way most people do it is the way a new agent sells a policy. It's like shit. You know what I mean? It's so unintentional. It's just what I think I should say. you know what I mean? I have fears. It's crazy, dude. And so it's the level of intentionality that's put into it. And then obviously putting on an event. I don't think anyone's confused that y'all can teach others how to win. But I mean, that's how we ran our whole company, dude. A dude DMing me yesterday. He's like, oh, I'm not doing well. And, I sit at home and I try to sell and there's so many distractions. I just can't figure it out. I'm like, well, why the hell do you sit at home? Go get an office. He's like, well, that sounds lonely. Stop it. I'm like, what? He's like, how long have you do you go to an office? I'm like, bro, I've been going to an office every day for 15 or since 2014, 11 years. Right. And I've been going to an office my entire career because I had a job before that. But in the insurance space, the day I was full time, dude, office. I'm in the office right now. I go to the office every day if I'm not traveling. If I'm home, I'm at the office. Why? I can create there. I can build there. I can communicate there. I can make magic happen, dude. Even if you want to be in virtual sales, we're seeing some of the biggest growth come from teams that are like, we're going to do virtual, but we're going to do it from an office. We're going to do it from a setting. Lock-ins are blowing up. You get people around, get people in a group. They get together, they get excited. They're pushing a bunch of insurance leaderboards, ringing bells, all that stuff. Like that stuff works. Have dinner, get to know people, build relationships. Like that's how you build a company.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about is we want to do a week-long event.
Oh my God, dude. It's literally the entire way to build something. New agents sitting at home in their PJs trying to dial by themselves. You're like, I have a Zoom. Okay. That the agent is afraid to get on and certainly is afraid to unmute on. Yo, you get them in person and you see you're a real person. You're just an everyday dude. You're sitting there helping them. They're watching you get hung up on. They're watching you deal with stuff, overcome objections. You don't think that's a different game? Oh my God. You put me in an office and me not in one. You put me doing events and me not doing ones. I smoke myself. Same skill set. It just gives you such a different vibe, such a different dynamic to work with. It actually makes it super easy. So for me, I've had an office, I've invested in offices. I owned 6 offices at one point. We've sold some since because people bought their own. But even as I was building this thing, I would find a leader in an area and I'm like, yo, I'll buy the office until you can afford it. Y'all rent, get everybody in there. I made cash flow from owning the office. They had a place to build something. I could go there and teach them. And then when they were ready, I taught them to do the same thing. So then some other people started buying an office and I just fucking sold mine. Made the cash flow, made the profit, move on to something else. And so it's again, you can do it certainly through Airbnbs and all these other things as well for temporary type meetings. But it's like I was taught, man, this dude Barry Clarkson, he runs Equus now. He worked with the dude Mike that I got training from, right? And he used to always Mike used to always teach, like Barry goes, people need like a watering hole. And I had to learn what that was because I'm from the hood in Boston. I didn't know what that meant. And he's like, some at an office or in an environment where people are around each other. Some people are there because they need a hug, and some people are there to be able to give a hug. And that was his way of saying some people need encouragement, some people are there to give encouragement. He just used to deliver it, and that's the way Barry used to deliver it. And I always would hear that. And at first, I didn't really understand it. But then when I started watching it, like you see people come in and they're like, man, I got 3 kids. I lost my job. I'm trying to figure it out. I got divorced, man. I really want to make this thing work. Like that person needs a fucking hug. That's what he meant. Right. And then you got someone else like, yo, I issue 40K a month. I got it figured out. I love teaching this thing. It's like, oh, that guy gives the hug. That was his you know what I mean? And we built around that simple concept, dude. Whether it was, again, a permanent thing, a temporary thing, a weekly thing, a travel one, there's all kinds of different ways to skin the cat, Make sense?
Yeah.
What up, insurance agents? If you're looking for a roadmap on how to win in this industry, check out the book I wrote about a year ago, Do More Now, Get Better Later. Check out the reviews here somewhere. My team's putting them on. I'm getting tons of great feedback about all the people it's helped. Appreciate those of y'all that have bought it. Appreciate all the reviews that are going out. If you're new to following me or the industry, check out the book and get it in your hands now.
Definitely. I wanted to, because I know you guys do that really, really well. And that's something that I want to start doing every quarter or so is doing like a
Yeah.
week-long event. I want to center it around. Obviously, we're not at the size where we're going to be hosting events, but we can find a training event, go to that, and then do a lock-in for a
Yeah.
week. Everyone dials work
100%.
like
Yep.
that. So,
Yep.
but it's just new since most of the guys here, I mean, prior to excluding JP and Connor, like this is everyone's first place. So they don't know
Yeah.
what
Yep.
other,
I
you
get
know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was just something that I want to start this year and get, and I just, because obviously coming from someone else is always, I mean, you can hear
Yeah.
the words from a different set of lips and it means
Sure.
a different thing. Right.
Yeah.
And then the second thing, and then whatever anyone else is which you already started touching on, but social media presence and like anyone that aspires to build. I think one of the biggest things is the same thing as you talk about with selling, right? Is it's like, I think people want to, when I'm ready to build, then I'll start building. But they don't understand you're laying the groundwork by being present on social media, by building your own brand, by sharing the agency, right? Because I always think about this like the mindset of why the fuck am I listening to you, right? So if you, a lot of people that, because I do post on my social media every day,
Sure.
it's like most people find me there, see me, and then they're like, okay, I'll listen to this or reach out. Now I freaking cut the conversation short pretty quick with a lot of them reach out. But
It's part of it, dude.
the importance of like, because I think a lot of people are, when I'm ready to build, then I'll start posting on social media, then I'll start building the brand, then I'll start. But it's like, what kind of things, I mean, you kind of touched on it, but just I guess kind of harping in on what they can lay the groundwork to do, sharing wins.
I mean, again, to me, it's the same thing as hearing the agent. I had an agent DM me on school yesterday, and see if I can pull it up while we're looking. She said something along the line. I actually want to read it. Let me see if I can pull this chick's thing up. It was really funny. Where is that chick? There she is. Let's see. She said, I do want, so she doesn't call leads yet. She's afraid to call them. She said, I do want to talk to people, just not feeling confident enough to answer questions. So when I know more, then I can start calling people.
Oh, yeah.
So what's our answer to that girl?
You're fucked. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Anybody else? I mean, like, what's the answer there? How does she gain confidence? Right. I mean, obviously everyone. Yeah, dude. Just so like, is anyone confused on building a personal brand and what that does for you in today's world? I mean, fuck, you all follow people. You know what I mean? Like, we used to have to explain it because it wasn't the norm. Now it's like, you obviously see it. So stop being the new agent dipshit in the equivalent of a business person. Straight up. Like, I don't think selling the benefits of it, but it's no different. It's going to take time. You got to get a lot of reps in. You got to get comfortable talking online. Hey, you know what you got to get used to? People talking shit about you online when you post a lot. That happens first. Hey, before I got all the good things on social, I promise you I got a lot more bad shit. They were like, who's this idiot? What's he saying? Work smarter, not harder. Why do you work that? You know what I mean? I'm like, I would get, and I used to want to argue with them. And I'm like, oh, that helps. They're not hurting me. They're helping me. Who knew? You know what I mean? Like, it took me a minute. But for me, dude, I started doing content so long ago, and I wish I could say I sat down and planned that I wanted to build some personal brand. Again, I mentioned it earlier. It was straight out of like benefit to me to be able to host videos so I could send people the stuff instead of having the same conversation 58 times a week because I was recruiting so many people. So it started there. And then I started seeing some traction. And I'm like, well, hell, there's something here. And then obviously as the evolution of socials happened, it was really easy to see like what people built through their personal brand. And I'm like, well, if that dude can do it, and follow Gary V. What's he talk about? Dude, he just outposts everyone. You know what I mean? Like and he has a shitload of followers. He shows some of his old content, wine library. If y'all know who I'm talking, if you don't, I'd be weird, it'd be confusing. But you see some of his old wine library stuff, and it was trash. Dude, you can go find Ed Milet's early content. I remember seeing a video of him sitting at a mock kitchen table doing a presentation. It was trash, bro. It was trash. But it's still on YouTube. And it's Ed fucking Milet.
That came from that came out when I was with WFG. It was, that was like evolutionary.
Correct. Right? But it's like, it was garbage. Yeah. You know, and it's like, man, but look where it led. And so for me, I just know if I get in the reps, dude, and now fast forward to today, we have so much traction on social, I can't keep up. I literally, my head wants to explode. I get like, so every time someone fills out a form or downloads something from the website, or they all come to my email because I like seeing them. Um, I get, I bet you I have some in my inbox right now. I haven't looked at my email in probably, I don't know, hour. So since the last time I checked my email, I've had 27 people register for an annuity class. Someone bought a book. Um, Three people registered for another call I have in 4 weeks. Oh, another book sold. A coaching inquiry, a new contact form filled out, a second coaching inquiry, three messages on school, and that's it in an hour, in the last hour. And I
But
haven't
that took you what, 2, 3, 4 years to build
that
that?
and dude, I bet I actually have I did a call like an hour ago. I have two voicemails. I have three text messages that are people I don't know. And then let's see DMs if I have any. I only have one DM on Instagram right now. I have three on Facebook, and I have seven messages on school. And I just haven't looked at it in like a little while. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's all day, every day now. But people think if they start posting today, they get that. I'm like, dude, do you know how many posts I made before I got a DM from someone? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds before I got a DM to go like, hey, I like your stuff. Now, dude, after I wish I knew how much so Reese, my on my team, he always relates my content to like um uh I think it's Finding Nemo. He always does a movie. He's always like this long, like an hour and a half long, and he'll be like, "You did enough content on social this month that would be the equivalent of watching Finding Nemo 246 times."
Oh, yeah.
And he gives me the amount of hours and content, and you know what I mean. It's like it's gobs and gobs of hours of stuff. I record everything I do. We'll use it. He's recording this right now. He'll chop something out of this. It'll be on social somewhere someday. And so for me, dude, I understood the long-term game of it, and I wanted to create that. I wanted to be that. I like, and I don't need quote unquote the fame, but I want what fucking comes with it. I want
Oh, yeah.
opportunity. I want money. I want relationships. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I'm working on, like, I truly am like, yo, I'm gonna be on my Let's podcast one day. How, dude? I'm gonna keep sending him a fucking book. I'll keep sending him that motherfucker a book until he opens it. You know what I mean? I'm a couple people away. That I'm like building relationships with some people that I know have relationships with him. And he's not just the only one, but like guys, I'm like, I feel like I can navigate there, and that's all through helping people. It starts there. Is when you start helping people make money, they share your shit. And when they share your stuff, other people follow. And then other people follow, they have more buy-in because someone they know shared my stuff. Right. So I get instant buy-in from people. So if someone shares my stuff, dude, people start buying books. And I make no money on the book, but it gets the brand out. And then they post when they bought it and they're like, this is great. And they tag me and they post it. And then I share it. And it's like, oh, another. And we've created so much momentum, dude, that now I look back and I'm like, oh, the first 4 years I didn't post one thing. Imagine if I started earlier. Holy smokes. And at the same time, I'm like, all right, well, let me learn from that. I sure as shit ain't slowing down now that I know what I know. That ain't gonna happen because I can only imagine like whatever's happening now is from what we did last year. Like that's the effect of what we did before. The work I put in now, oh, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. I will blow the fuck up this year. I put out so much stuff. I'm on so many calls. I'm doing so many trainings. I'm helping so many people win. This personal side, y'all will watch it blow up. I'm going to make it happen because I believe in the process of it. And it's like some people will do it, but it's like you can't compare yourself. Ed Milet makes a post. You have 487 comments in 4 minutes. Look, I'll tell you my last one on Instagram. Let's see. Still to this day. Let's see. The last video has 415 views. Mine to still to this day. The one before that had 1,000, 1639, 800, 2054, 920, one at 2,600. I think one popped at like, I saw one hit like 5K recently. That was on Facebook, I think. You know, I get a decent amount of YouTube's blowing up for me right now. YouTube's popping, which is weird. TikTok, I get nothing. I get 37 views a video and no one fucking says anything, you know, but I just keep posting, dude, you know, because I believe in the process of it. And I believe, and I know now that I do as much as I do. I go to as many events as I do. I speak at as many things as I go to. I do as many calls as this. Today, everywhere I go, bro, every single event I go to, someone's like, yo, I watch your stuff and it helped me do ABC. Yo, I watched this video and it taught me this. Hey, thanks for putting that out. Dude, if I don't post something about a workout now, if I don't post a workout, I'll have 10 messages tonight. Yo, you good? Did you miss today? Nah, bro, I didn't miss shit. I just forgot to post it. I've worked out twice. But that's become like people expect it. And they're like, I push them and motivate them to keep doing more. And I'm fucking working out last night. Did my second workout at like 9 p.m., pouring down rain, thunderstorm. I'm like, but that's who I am. So I share it and it helps people, you know? And so I like the helping people part, dude. And it just continues to add more value to my life by default. And it's worked, and it certainly can be a business model. But if you ain't doing it to ultimately help someone, it probably ain't gonna work anyway. But there's crazy value in it if that's the premise. How can I? It's not selfish. What do I sound like? What's my lighting, dude? Who gives a shit? Is mine nice now? Yeah. Go look at my old stuff, dude. It's trash. You know, and I was okay with it. And I don't think it's phenomenal now. I'm stuck in a corner. I got two lights right here. I'm in a little corner. The bookshelf looks nice. The rest of the room's like a fucking mess. It's not that good. It just looks decent right here. And we put the book up intentionally. You can see the do more thing right there on purpose. You know what I mean? It's like it's marketing.
Yeah.
So anybody else got anything though? You want to open up? I'm learning Spanish. I have a Spanish lesson in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyone, let's get that, rip it up. So most importantly,
And
I
we
know
can do more of these too. You know what I mean? It's like as you and I continue to work together, we'll do some more things. But if anybody has anything, please feel free.
Yeah, I got something.
What you got, dude?
So it's kind of like two questions in one, right?
Sure.
So like when you bring on a new agent, what are like your requirements, or like what would you say is like how do you get people up and started quickly?
Yeah.
Like what should they do in leads, what activity wise, everything like that. And then on the flip side is that how do you handle like underperforming sales reps, and like how do you help them improve to get to that level?
Sure. So I could train on it for 4 hours. So I'm going to give you the shortest, most effective version I can. One, I give people one thing at a time to do. I don't talk to them about a lead plan at all until they're ready to buy leads. Super high level. I barely touch it. It's like getting an objection from a client. It's like, yeah, no problem. Anyway, can I ask you that? And you just kind of brush it aside and move on. Same concept. I don't like outright ignore them, but like we don't need to get that in depth if you don't have your damn license yet. Does that make sense? So I talk to people more about coachability and doing the things they say they're going to do. And I know I'm going to guide them. Does that make sense? No different than if you go to the doctor, they don't get into like every little detail about every little thing you got to do. Like I'm working with a person on my health stuff right now. And she's like, all right, we did the lab work and here's all the things you got going on. This is high, this is low, this is good, whatever. She doesn't go like, all right, here's a list of 47 things to do. Do this to fix your cholesterol, eat these meals every day, do this one for your blood pressure, do this one for your kidney, do this one for your testosterone, da 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 da. And she doesn't give me 17 things to do. Does that make sense? She's like, hey, cut that out and start these supplements first. Do that for a few weeks and then come back. We'll see what the test looks like. I'll give you the next thing to do. She's like, this process is going to take 6 to 9 months. Right. And so I'm very similar, dude. I don't take 6 to 9 months, but I also don't give them everything they need to do on the first call. You know, so for me, I'm trying to keep this like they're going through school and I need to teach them kindergarten before I teach them trigonometry. If I start to teach them everything up front, it makes their brain want to explode. They overanalyze, they overthink. And the whole premise is coachable. Do what you say you're going to do. And that means trust me along the way. For you, that means you better be there for people along the way. So I got really good at giving people one thing to do and then saying, come back to me when you're ready for the next thing. Meaning, hey, go register for your class. When you register for your class, shoot me a text. Let me know you're in. I'll tell you what to do next.
Mm.
When they do that, I'm like, hey, go do this. You know what I mean? Get on this training, take some notes. Let me know a few things you learned. Text me back. Let me know what you learned. You know, and I always tell people I'll leave the pace up to them because you can't go faster than me. I promise I can go faster. So if you can consume more information, you just let me know as frequently as you want. I'll keep feeding you more information. But if you start asking me about something you need to know in 6 weeks, we're not going to cover that yet. It's no different than if I'm taking Spanish today and I want to know, you know, some long, complicated thing about the language. She's like, settle down, bucko. Why don't you learn like yo tango first? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And so I kind of I've learned how to keep it really simple because that's what works with people. And I can dive in deep. We can follow some of the stuff. We'll continue to teach some stuff. But ultimately, my goal is how do I help people get paid fast? And you can get people paid fast by not overcomplicating the process. And if you give people 27 things to do to get started, to them, that's complicated.
Yeah.
So I just one at a time, bro. Now I've done it a lot. So I've learned how to fine tune that. You know what I mean? Even if I told you every single step I do, it's not like I have it in writing, like step one, do this, step two. It's just a feel thing because I've done it so much, you know, and I've watched people overcomplicate things. So as I watch people overcomplicate things, no different than sales, you watch objections and people say dumb things, you tweak the way you present, right? So as I'm doing this thing, I tweak the way I recruit people. I tweak the way I talk to people. I tweak the stories. I give nonstop examples and analogies because I learn people receive it better that way, you know? And so in theory, I'm giving them micro things to do and putting the burden of response of communication on them. And my style, I'm like, hey, if you don't get back to me, I'm going to assume you quit. Is that fair? And so if they don't do the thing, the consequence is I'm not calling them to figure out where they're at.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, I don't give a shit. If I've said if you don't call, you're telling me it's like gang signs to say I quit.
Mm.
So if they don't call back on purpose, that's their signal to me they don't want to work with me anymore. Or they don't take it serious. Now I leave grace. So if they're like, hey, something came up, cool. I got you. But I can't do that 52 times. Like grandma can die once, that's it. If she keeps dying, I'm out. You know what I mean? That help?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. Got time for one more. Again, we can. Oh, Ted, I see the hand.
He's
Is that what
polite.
that means?
He's the most
I
polite
like
out of
that.
all of us. Probably too polite.
I'm sorry if I'm over the top, Ted, if he's too
No
polite.
worries. All good. Thank you for all your time and your words for this.
Yeah, man.
I'm a new agent. I used to be a teacher and don't need to hear too much about that. But my
Sure.
wife, anything you can share that's been you've found to be particularly effective in helping new agents communicate to their wives, spouses, whatever the case may be, about the newness of this as opposed to the steady, very low income of such a teaching career versus the volatility of this and
Sure.
taking time for it to get started. Anything that you found effective in helping new agents assuage the concerns of their spouses?
Yeah, get on the phone with the spouse. That's how I did it. If they're confused, if they really want to know more, I'm like, yo, if she needs to answer questions, like you don't even know what the fuck you're doing, I'm happy to help if I can. You know what I mean? Like if the wife doesn't trust it, there's things there. But you know how many spouses I've talked to over the years, dude? I've had several people that husband and wife, they wouldn't pay a bill in their household without calling me first to decide which bill to pay. I knew all their finances. I knew everything about everything. I knew when their car payment was due. I knew when their mortgage was. They were struggling financially. You know what I mean? And she believed in him. She didn't really believe in the business. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, can I help? Now some people don't want that help, especially when it's a brand new interview. Like you know what I mean? They're like, I ain't getting on the phone with some wacko from you know what I mean? That's not normal. So I try to identify like more so if this is the first time they've tried something. I try to find out if there's trust from the other spouse, or if you've blown money on dumb shit, or don't do what you say you're going to do, or said you're going to be the best at 27 things already and have never done any of them. I try to figure that out because that matters to me. Like if this is your 47th thing to do, I'm like, yo, the only way for her to trust you is to go out and do it, bro. I mean, I ain't got a lot. She ain't gonna believe. She don't believe you. She don't believe in you. Do you like that? No. All right. What are you gonna do about it? You gonna keep letting her not believe in you? Or you gonna do something about it? You know what I mean? And I can challenge him in a different way if I need to. But again, I'm open to whatever makes it work. It's very case by case. So I've had to learn how to handle each different situation. So what I would say is, if you have something like that during this process, we can certainly bring someone up, and I'll be like, hey, based on what I know, I don't have time to do it all now, but I would ask a lot of questions, right? So if you're wondering how to handle that for yourself, I would go to John and be like, yo, I need help. This person you know what I mean? Like if you don't know how to handle that yet, I'd ask for help. And at the
That's
beginning,
referring to himself. He needs to
yeah,
tell his wife.
yeah. So then, meaning, why doesn't she believe in it?
You're actually asking me. She
Yeah.
she likes to do her own research, and she's skeptical of the fail rate amongst insurance agents. She has faith in me,
Okay.
the business.
How long you been doing it?
This is week 3 of dialing.
Okay. Have you putting in work or no?
Yeah,
Okay. Have you made sale yet?
I did.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, for me, I've learned, and my wife always says the same thing. If you do what it takes, they'll gain buy-in quick. So it's like you somewhat got to learn to ignore the noise. If she trusts you, it's gonna take a minute. It's like, do you really need to convince her to trust the industry? Or if you're making money, like, and for me, it's like, does she know people make money in the industry? I assume that's a fact. Like, she knows that, right?
Hmm.
Does she know money? Does she know John's making money and people around you are making money? So for me, I just got my wife to believe in my belief in someone else. So I believed in others so much that she believed in my belief in Mike, and she believed in my belief in Sean. So I had such high belief level, and I was talking about them on such a high level. She bought in because she believes in me. So she wasn't going to go, your judgment sucks. She's like, I believe in your judgment. I don't see it, but like my wife thought it was a fucking scam, dude. But she believed in my judgment with it. And she also knows me, that I'm a risk taker. I like trying things. I'm going to put in the work. I'm not afraid to put myself out there. So she knew that too. So as time went on, I started making sales. I remember the very first time, bro, and I'll end with this. Steph tells me, and this was fairly early on. I remember the very first time she comes to me and she goes, "Hey, so um, is there any chance you could work this Saturday? I want to go to the mall with Amanda and buy a new purse." I was like, I'm in. She finally gets it. You know what I mean? That took a few months though. So if you believe in it, I just wouldn't bring the negative. When I had a bad day, I didn't bitch to her. When I had a chargeback, I didn't talk to her about it. When stuff happens with my staff today, I don't talk to her about it. When we have still to this day, I don't bring it up to Steph. Rare. Sometimes a little bit. And we're killing it. But I'm like, I just don't bring the negative noise to people. And I found that helps a lot too. You know what I mean? I'm bringing the upside. I'm bringing the positive. I'm bringing the things I learned today. I want it to be an exciting time. So it's marketing, psychology, it's communication. So just be very, very aware of how you communicate to her. And then maybe don't try so hard to sell on the overall thing. You know what I mean? If you have trust, take the trust and run with it and go prove her that you can do it. That was my style. I'm like, nobody, and Steph always said, like, if you're gone and or working all the time and broke, the wives really don't like this industry. But dude, when you're working a lot and you got money coming in, they don't really need us around that much, bro. But if you're gonna be broke, they'd rather have you home. You know what I mean? And there. So it's like, I don't know, dude. I went and made shit happen, and she bought in over time. Because I had it sounds like you have the initial. So I would do it at a high level, do it as quick as you can, and talk to her about the successes you're having, the wins you're having. Even if it's not like I made $1 million this week. You know what I mean? Continue to talk about wins and build that belief with time. Make sense?
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
Cool.
Appreciate
Thanks for your
it.
clarity, John. I
we're late.
misread what he was asking. That was my bad. So yeah, let me roll, dude. And if you want to set up some of this, maybe like recurring, maybe once a month, we get on, do some stuff for the guys. We dive deeper into recruiting. If you guys can start doing those things, start implementing some of the stuff, work on it as a team, and then go like, all right, sometime in March, let's do another one of these and see where people are at, see what questions we have, and we'll keep working.
Yeah.
Make sense?
I'll charge ticket fees. No, I'm just kidding.
Hell, let's go.
All right. Appreciate it. Wetmore. You got to.
All right, guys. Holler if you need me.
Yeah.
Later.